Hello, everybody. It's time for another episode of That 70's Song Show, a Trimungous production in which we share our love of music and music nostalgia and music history with you, the viewer. If you are new here, thank you for joining us. I urge you to go back and check our previous episodes out, especially the last one, which is one of our favorites so far. And if you have been with us all this time, thank you so much for sticking around, and we hope you enjoy another edition of the show. Today we're focusing on the year 1973. So all of our questions and all of our conversations will be about songs from 1973. My name is Tim. As usual, I am here with my fellow Trimungusoids, Mark and Jessica, the owners of Trimungus.
Hey, hey.
So for those of you who are around our age, Gen Xers, hopefully you'll get us the sense of nostalgia that we're trying to bring out here. And hey, I remember that song, or I'm not sure I remember that song. And we'll have we'll talk about a Spotify playlist later, so if you're not sure about some of these songs, you can check some of them out. And if you're a younger viewer, maybe you'll hear about some music that you've never heard about before, and perhaps go seek them out, because there's a lot of music that's been around for a long time that some people just didn't get any kind of exposure to. So, are you folks ready for our game?
Yes.
All right.
Round 1, Top 10, Points Explainer. Each contestant picks 10 songs from an alphabetized list of the top 50 songs for that year and ranks them from 1 to 10 as their guessed placement. The contestants' song picks are then compared to the actual ranking of the top 50 songs for that year. The relative placement of each song is determined based on its ranking in the top 50 songs for that year. If the guessed placement of the song is the same as its relative placement, then the contestant gets 1 point, and half a point if it's off by 1. Any song picked that also ranked in the top 10 of the top 50 songs for that year earns a bonus point. Each song that doesn't get points awarded to the contestants earns the host a half point each.
Out of the 50 songs on the list, Mark and Jessica, and again, I always mention how I find it fascinating how people are more familiar with some songs from the past than others, and a song that you might remember very clearly, somebody else might not remember at all, but in this particular year, Mark and Jessica, you chose 7 of the same songs. Pretty good. So I'm going to start with those songs to tell you how you did. The first song on the list is Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water, which was number 50 for the year-end chart, which means that on your list, in the correct order, it would be in 10th place. But unfortunately, Mark, you put it at number 7. Jessica, you put it at number 4, so no points for either of you.
I like this song.
It's a great song.
Higher.
It should be. It really should be. Who does these points,
Guess I'm losing this round.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Kind of early for that now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the other songs have to be above that, and I only have 3 slots above that. So there's...
True, but if you're off by 1, you still get half a point, All right, so the next song on the list is the OJ's Love Train, which rested at number 32 in Billboard's chart. Mark, you put that at number 5. Jessica, you also put that at number 5, and you're both wrong. Mark, on your list, Love Train would be number 9, so you're off by 4, and Jessica, on yours, it would be number 8. So significant difference on both ends here. Not getting off to a good start, but nope. we got more game to go. All right, let's see. The third song you both chose was Stevie Wonder's You Are the Sunshine of My Life. This song rests at number 19 on the year-end chart. And let's see, Mark, you put it at number 8. Jessica, you put it at number 7. And you're both off by 2. Just up to, on Mark's list, it would be number 6. And on Jessica's, it would be number 5.
Somebody's getting all the points right now.
Who's that? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see what else we got here. All right, so next up is Carly Simon's You're So Vain. This song rests at number 9.
I hate this song,
for the
by
year.
the way.
You're So Vain?
I just can't stand it.
You probably think this song is about you.
I do.
So You're So Vain, let's see, Mark, you put that song at number 10. And Jessica, you put it at number 2, so quite a contrast there. Again, unfortunately, you're both wrong because it rests at number 4 on both of your lists. So, well, motoring on. Let's hope we get some points going here. Up next, we've got Elton John's Crocodile Rock. This song rests at number 7 on Billboard's Top 50. Mark, you put it at 3. And Jessica, you put it at 1. But on both of your lists, it is number 3. So that means 1 whole point for Mark. Finally, we got some points going. No points yet for Jessica, but we're still going here. We got, I think, 5 more songs to go on each list. So up next, I've got Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. This song rests at number 4 for the year. And let's see, Jessica, you put it at number 6. But Mark, you put it at number 4. So you get that one exactly right. You don't get any points for where it sits on the list, though, because it comes in second. But you do get 2 bonus points for pinpointing the exact position. Okay? All right. No, unfortunately, no points for you yet, Jess. We're still going. Let's see. We got one more song that you both chose, and this is Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly with his song. Okay, so let's see. This song rests at number 3 for the year. Mark, you put it at number 2, but on your list it would be number 1, so you do get half a point for it. Okay?
All right.
Jessica, you put it at number 3, which is the exact right number, so you get 2 bonus points. But unfortunately, it's also number 1 on your list, so you don't get the whole point for the right position. So, all right. So those are the 7 songs you both chose. Now you've got 3 songs each that you chose independently. The first one is Gladys Knight and the Pips, Midnight Train to Georgia. That Jessica, you chose that. You put it at number 9 on your list, and it is number 49 on Billboard's chart. So since you already picked Smoke on the Water, that means you got that one correct. So that's a whole point for you for Gladys Knight and the Pips at number 9. All right, we got John Denver's Rocky Mountain High. Mark, you chose that. You put that at number 6 on your list. It was Billboard's number 29 song for the year, but unfortunately, it is actually number 8 on your list. So no points for Rocky Mountain High. All right. Going back to Jessica's list, I've got Three Dog Night's Shambhala, which sits at number 31 on Billboard's chart, and you put it at number 8, and you are off by 1. It would be number 7, so you get a half a point for Shambhala. What else? Let's see. Mark, you chose Grand Funk Railroad's We're an American Band. This song was Billboard's number 23 song for the year. You put it at number 9, but unfortunately it is number 7 according to the 10 songs you chose. So nothing on that yet. So any comments so far? No. I didn't ask you if you had any special insight into this year's list at all. Like anybody want to, before I get to the last 2 songs, anybody want to talk about that or?
Well, same type of strategies before. I mean, I go after the songs that I immediately knew and had familiarity with, and then tried to think, how did I first hear those songs? Again, was it on the radio? Was it friends or family? To try to kind of gauge, okay, well, if this song is, still so popular, whenever time in my life I heard it, then that means it must have stood the test of time and it was very popular in '73, so that's how I kind of chose, and it's part by just gut guesstimates, whatever I could muster out of the air.
Yeah, I hear what you mean. You're gonna be surprised by some of the songs that you didn't catch here, but
yeah, sure.
Any comments, Jessica?
I just felt like I was flailing. I had no idea. I mean, just the songs that I like versus the songs that were in the very tippy top. It's hard to know. So
I gotcha.
Again, This was like I didn't exist. Well, I was born in '73, so I didn't exist for
part of that
it.
time.
Like
yeah.
Although I may have heard some stuff, it's hard to say, but yeah, no idea. I did my best.
Okay, well, we'll get to the last 2 songs on each of your lists. And first, on Jessica, the last song on your list was Paul Simon's Love Me Like a Rock, which was Billboard's number 27 song of the year, and you put it at number 10. Unfortunately, out of your list, it would finish at number 6, so no points for Paul Simon. And finally, Mark, and I'm glad somebody picked this song because it's kind of, I don't know, it's one of those songs where you're just like, you might not remember it. You're like, she had a song. It was Vicki Lawrence's The Nights the Light Went Out in Georgia. You put this at number 1, which I was like, wow, Mark thinks that's number 1, which is pretty cool, but it would finish at 5th place on your list. So no points there, and it was the number 11 song of the year. So it still did pretty well there.
I don't even think I know that song.
See, that's one of those songs. Vicki Lawrence from the Cara Burnett Show had a number 1 song.
Wow, it was like the name was familiar, but it wasn't tying to music for some reason. I was like,
yeah, of course
did
not.
I work with this person? Like, the name.
That's my mama.
Probably worked with like 3 Vickies.
What was the show that she was on? That was
Cara
a
Burnett Show. Oh, Mama's Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Wow, Vicki Lawrence. Who
You
knew?
got splinters in the windmills of your mind.
I want to hear it now.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, that's on the list. I hope the Spotify list. We'll have to make sure that's on.
Check out the playlist.
So, all right, the points as they stand right now. You've each got 1 full point for getting a song in the right position. You've each got a half a point for getting a song off by 1. You've each got 2 bonus points for getting a song of the exact right number. And out of each of your lists, you both correctly identified 4 of the top 10 songs. So you get you get 4 more bonus points each. So as it stands right now, you are each tied with 7.5 points. However, because you both only scored points on 2 out of 8 songs, that means I get 4 points from each of you. So right now I'm beating you both by half a point. Okay. So, all right. So those of you who looked at the list and decided to play along, I'm going to read off the actual top 10. And yeah, you're going to be surprised by some of the songs that you didn't pick, if you even remember these songs. So there's a reason that you didn't pick them, I guess. But here we go. Number 10 is Diana Ross's Touch Me in the Morning.
Touch me in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Number
I
9.
knew the song, I just didn't think, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I wouldn't have recognized that as one of her bigger hits. But again, it's all about how they charted at the time and not the resilience, you know? Number 9 was Carly Simon's You're So Vain. No surprise there. Number 8 is Billy Preston, Will It Go Round in Circles? Okay.
I keep forgetting that he really had...
He had some presence, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he really had a career, I mean, that really kind of blew up. Because he was with, before he went to sitting with the Beatles, he was he in James Brown's band?
I'm not sure.
He was in some
That's
other
a good
famous
question.
R&B soul, band as a piano player or keyboardist, and then...
Sounds right.
Because they were talking about the Beatles, because in that documentary on the making of that album, like that I watched, they were actually talking about it, and then they mentioned where he was. I can't remember what act he was in, but yeah, he was in some other big R&B acts before they brought him over for that.
And he had a signature sound too. Like if back then, you know what Billy Preston sounded like. You know.
Yeah.
All right, number 7 was Elton John's Crocodile Rock. Number 6. Now this one is a surprise because you probably won't remember it and I didn't, and it wasn't even a top 10 hit. Chris Christopherson, we're all familiar with that guy, right?
Yeah.
He had a song called Why Me, which only really peaked in the teens. I think it was 13, but it was on the chart for so damn long that it ends up at number 6. You know, get a lot of points just for sticking around. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what the song sounds like because I don't remember it. But then again, my family, we didn't listen to country music very much, so that might be a reason. Number 5 is Paul McCartney and Wings' My Love. Remember that song? Okay, I like Wings, actually. Number 4 is Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On.
Let's get it on.
No, thanks. Number 3 is Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly. We'll talk after the show. Number 3 is Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly with his song, which, was a really hot contender for number 1, and I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was, I was sure that would have been up there.
Oh, it's such a
number
classic.
3, but yeah,
That's damn good, you know. Number 2, and the top 2 songs neither of you picked. The second one is one that my dad had a record. He was a big fan of this guy, Jim Croce, Bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole dang town. We had that 45 growing up as a kid. And the number 1 song is by Tony Orlando and Dawn. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, and neither of you picked it. I'm really shocked about that.
It was hard to the songs just seem so different culturally too, because I have no idea what the political climate was at the time, and I think that would really influence what songs were popular. So
that's a good point.
That's my excuse.
Right.
I wasn't adult enough back then.
Yeah, me neither. So, well, there it is. If you're watching and playing, that's our top 10. Let us know how you did if you're interested. And we've got 2 more rounds to go. Right now, it's me in the lead with 8 points. Mark and Jessica, you each have 7.5. So again, game is in anybody's hands. Mm-hmm. The next round is a multiple choice trivia round where both Jessica and I will ask the other 2 people 3 questions, and then we'll, if I don't forget, move on to the bonus round where Mark will ask a question that is worth more points.
Here we go.
Points work as such. For every question that somebody gets right, they get 1 point, but if one of us gets it wrong, the person reading the question gets a half a point. That will change when it's Mark's turn, but we'll get to that as we go. So, Mark and Jessica, here are my 3 questions for you. Okay, first question. Which type of shining girl was the subject of a 1973 hit song by Seals and Crofts? This might be an easy one, but I'll read the choices. A is golden, B is diamond, C is silver, and D is autumn. Jessica says B, Mark says B. You're both right. The answer is Diamond Girl. Whew. All right, so I'm going to add a point to each of your scores here.
Oh, lucky.
Now you're both beating me by half a point. Just like always. All right, my next question. In 1973, Paul Simon released the single Loves Me Like a Rock. Which Southern U.S. gospel singing group accompanied Simon? That was a little tougher. All right, so the choices are A, the Edwin Hawkins Singers, B, the Brooklyn Tabernacle Singers, C, the Stable Singers, or D, the Dixie Hummingbirds. Okay. Jessica says D, Mark says C. Now, before I answer this, I want to say, right off the bat, it says Southern group, so choice B, the Brooklyn Tabernacle Singers, is definitely wrong. The Stable Singers, I don't think is a gospel group, so Mark, unfortunately, you are incorrect. But Jessica, you chose the right answer. Dixie Hummingbirds, so that's 1 point for Jessica. I'll add that here. And I get a half a point because Mark got it wrong. Thank you for getting it wrong, Mark. I feel valued by other people's mistakes.
Stop walking into the party like you walked onto a yacht.
That's funny you say that because my next question, right? Which Canadian province is mentioned in the third verse of the lyrics to Carly Simon's 1973 single You're So Vain?
I have no idea because I can't get past the first.
So your choices, you ready? Your choices are A, Manitoba, B, Quebec, C, Ontario, or D, Nova Scotia. Whenever you're ready, reveal your answers. Jessica says C. Mark says D. Mark is correct. The answer is Nova Scotia. And I will add another point to Mark's score. So let's see what we got here.
I only thought of because of boats, because, the whole yacht walking onto a yacht thing.
The yacht walking?
The yacht walking.
The yacht walking. And your horse naturally won is another line. So we're pretty close still. Mark, Jessica, you both have 9.5 points. I've got 9 points. So it's still anybody's game. And now it is Jessica's turn in round 2 to read her questions.
Just to remind everyone, we're talking about 1973. Roe v. Wade makes abortion a U.S. constitutional right. U.S. troops are withdrawn from Vietnam. And the World Trade Center in New York becomes the tallest building in the world.
Wow.
I'm sure a lot of mixed feelings about lots of those. But anyway, Moving on. What American artist performed their first concert at the Coventry Club in Queens, New York in 1973? Was it A, Barry White, B, the Doobie Brothers, C, Chicago, or D, Kiss?
Okay.
Oh, Mark gets a point. Tim does not, but I get half a point. The answer is D, Kiss.
So that's 10 points total for Mark now. No, I'm sorry. That's 10.5 for Mark. And Jessica, you are at 10.
So last time, 1972 was the first year the annual New Year's Rockin' Eve aired on NBC. So 1973 was the second year, and they also featured musical performances. So which American act performed on the second annual New Year's Rockin' Eve that aired on NBC? Now the first one was Billy Preston. He was the main featured artist, so he was also performing this at the second one. But there's other groups that performed, and one of them is in the list. Now I'll give you a hint if you want. Let me read the options, and you let me know if you want a hint.
Okay.
A, the Pointer Sisters. B, Barbra Streisand. C, Aretha Franklin. Or D, Cher.
Risking it here because I'm in last place, but we'll give it a shot.
Mark says D, Cher. Tim says C, Aretha Franklin. The answer is A, the Pointer Sisters.
Oh, I never would have guessed them. They were like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, nope.
Tim, you're not burning to do the neutron dance.
So that's a whole point for Jessica. So you're in the lead with 11 points right now.
The
Shocking.
The Tower of Power was also on performing. All right, moving on to the last question from me. This English rock band that formed in 1965 released an album in 1973 that went on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time.
Okay.
Was it A, the Beach Boys, B, Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, C, Pink Floyd, or D, the Rolling Stones? Can we read it? Okay. No repeat? Yes, you are both correct.
Yeah.
Good job. It is C, Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, Pink
Yes.
Floyd
Yeah.
releases Dark Side of the Moon, which goes on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time. It debuted on Billboard 200 on March 17th, reached number 1 on April 28th, and eventually logs the all-time record of 748 weeks on that chart.
Yep. It was on the chart for years.
That's a spicy meatball.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for your questions, Jessica. As we stand right now, Mark, you're in the lead with 11.5. Jessica, you have 11. I have 10. And now we go on to the third part of our second round. I didn't forget this time.
Nice.
Well, Mark will ask us a bonus question. You want to tell us how the bonus question works?
All right, so this bonus question is worth 3 points if you get it correct, and I get 1.5 points from each of you if you get it incorrect.
Okay. One question.
One question. So this question is a multiple choice.
All right.
All right. So during Led Zeppelin's tour in 1973, between their second and third shows in New York, a large sum of money was stolen from their safety deposit box,
Oh, okay.
which was featured in their concert film, The Song Remains the Same. So was the amount A, $50,000, B, $200,000, C, $150,000, or D, $250,000? And your answers, please.
Get this wrong, probably.
Yeah, me too, but here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
You both chose C.
The correct answer is B, $200,000.
That was my second choice, and I really
And
wish I
I
had gone
will
with that.
take your 3 points.
Damn.
I was kind of going back and forth between A because it's the smallest amount, but, inflation.
1973, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And in today's dollars, are saying that would be an estimate value of $1.1 million that
man.
would have been stolen from them.
Wow. All
That's a
right,
lot.
well, you kicked their asses with that one. So you're in the lead, Mark, with 14.5 points now. Jessica, you're still 11. I've got 10, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Mark will have a crappy story and we can get past him. So, okay. So we reached the third round, as I like to call the apex of our show, the Nostalgia Challenge, where the three of us each pick a song from the year 1973 and talk about how it has affected us in some way in our lives. How this works is we each have 5 points to give to the other two players. We can split them up based on how good their story is. We can give all 5 points to one person and 0 to the other. And you guys ready? You have your songs prepared and your stories ready to go?
Yes.
All right, Mark, I'm going to start with you this time. So tell us your story.
All right. So I don't, it seems like my stories seem to be being funnier than nostalgic, but, I don't think I'll be able to top the Club Nouveau story. But anyway, so my song takes me back to when I was a very young kid in the late 70's. It was The Muppet Show when Elton John performed Crocodile Rock.
Oh.
And so seeing him perform that with the Muppets, makes me, every time I hear that song, that's what I'm transported back to, sitting on my couch when I was, whatever year that was. I think that was the late 70's when that actually happened. But so maybe 4 or 5 years old, and rocking out some Elton John with Crocodile Rock, and my Pete footy pajamas and my bowl cut. And,
Man. I had the bowl cut too.
But yeah, so that's my song. Not deeply profound or anything, but it was it's a warm, happy place.
It is a fond memory.
Yeah.
So I missed the Muppet Show was one of my favorite shows back then.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of it. So, all right. So moving on, Jessica, would you like to tell us your story?
Sure. I'd like to add on, though, that the Muppet Show, for me, is just the theme song, the dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So, and again, what other kids show, came on in the evening?
True.
Back when we were kids. That was the, you didn't have internet, we didn't have cable. If, you had any given time in the evening, you had 4 or 5 options, and that was it. And the odds of, in an evening, one of those being something for kids was super rare, but the Muppet Show was one of them. And I think that really made it adorable to a lot of people. Anyway, so my nostalgia pick was a song that I really wanted to put at number 1 on my list. But I didn't want to overclock on my personal feelings about it, but the song is Killing Me Softly with his song. I don't remember when I first heard it, but I heard it because my mom likes the song. So she played it, and when it came on, and I would hear it and I would sing to it, and it was one of those rare times that I thought of her as, you know, a person before she became a mom, right?
Yeah.
Because that's all we know our parents as, is the parent.
Yeah.
So that gave me a glimpse just into her personal, I mean, she was an Elvis fan, you know, she liked other music too, but this was a song that I really liked, and, you know, it was remade, and I like the remake. I just like the, there's a word I'm thinking of. There's a vulnerability to it.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that it expresses that vulnerability, and specifically around music. It's a song that talks about the impact that music's having on the person as someone's performing it. So to me, it just has that kind of inception, kind of deeper, it's like a stronger connection because of that. Because like A, you like the song, but B, the song's about someone else singing a song that impacts you in such a strong way. So I just always love that depth, and it's a beautiful song by itself in any case. And of course it's about, you know, relationships and love. So that's my pick.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, and the Fugees really killed it
They
with
really
their
did.
version. I mean,
Seriously.
Lawrence Hill really just kind of like
They brought it back, so
knocked it out of the park. I mean,
And I'm trying to remember who was the subject of the song. It was either Smokey Robinson or Marvin Gaye. I don't remember. Do you remember?
I didn't even know it was about, like, I didn't know it was
It's
kind
about
of
an
based on a
actual-
real,
I
here we go.
believe so. And if viewers, you know, we'll probably look it up by then. But if you want to chime in and tell us, you know,
I always envisioned it was like more random. Like it wasn't like this famous performer, but it was, you know, someone out at a restaurant or some place where they happen to have a neighborhood musician doing live music, and it
Okay.
was just happy, like the person was caught off guard by it and then wrote the song. But I'd love to look into that.
yeah. If I'm correct, it's about an actual person.
That's
who's
cool.
singing
yeah,
right there.
we'll put it in the description. I thought it was about Wink Martindale, but you know, that's
Oh no.
Deal or no deal. All right, so I guess we're on to my story now, and the song that I chose, it's so cheesy, but I chose The Morning After by Maureen McGovern. Very simply because it is the theme from The Poseidon Adventure, which came out the year before. I think it came out because it was a New Year's Eve movie, so it might have come out at the end of the year, I'm not sure. But so when I was a kid, the first film I ever loved was The Poseidon Adventure. I probably saw it when I was 7 or 8, and I fell in love with disaster films so much that me and my sister Sherry, we had those Fisher-Price People toys, and so we assigned a character to each of the players in the movie, and we used to replay. We did parodies of it. We recorded ourselves on those tape recorders that we had back then, and recorded ourselves doing parody versions of the Poseidon Adventure. I used to take my Fisher-Price boat in the tub and play Poseidon Adventure in the tub. I wrote like sequels to the Poseidon Adventure. Like I was so obsessed with that movie and it still stands as one of my favorite films ever. It's got some great actors in there: Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters, Ernest Borgnine,
Yeah.
Red Buttons. I mean, there's a lot. You know, at the time they're very famous people.
and they remade that in the last.
They've done a
10,
couple of
15
versions.
Have they? Okay.
They did. They're reboots. It's not really remake because the book doesn't follow. I mean, the movie doesn't follow the book exactly. There are characters in there that they morphed into other characters, but it's the general idea. And the ironic thing about the whole story is that in the movie, you know, you see Gene Hackman's character as a hero leading them out, but in the book, he's a total buffoon, and they're all doing it wrong. So it's the exact opposite. And also, I still get very emotional every time Shelley Winters dies of a heart attack because she did such a fantastic job in that film. So yeah, I mean the song is they do play the song in the movie. Carol Lindley lip syncs it, but Maureen McGovern is singing, and one of the guys actually makes fun of the song while she's singing it, which I thought was pretty funny. So it's a very cheesy song, but and you don't really hear it these days. But the very rare occasion it comes up, I mean, I don't even need that to think of the movie, but that's generally why I love the song, because that was my first favorite movie of all time. You know, and that is my nostalgia story.
Very nice.
All right. So we got all 3 stories out, and now it is time to award each other points. Let me just get a quick reminder of what the songs we had. Yours was Crocodile Rock, because of the Muppets. Yours was Killing Me Softly, you said, because about seeing more into your mom and who she was as a real person. And I chose The Morning After. So, Jessica, you want to give your points out first?
Sure. So I think I'm just going to go 3 to Mark,
Okay.
2 to Tim, based purely on the fact I can relate to that more.
Okay.
But I didn't
gotcha.
want to, not give someone any points.
Oh, that's cool.
But I like both.
Not everybody's as obsessed with Poseidon Adventure as I am. So.
Yet. I'll need to watch it first,
Oh,
maybe.
you haven't seen it? The original?
Not that I don't think so.
Okay, for its time, it was quite a film. Like the whole scene where the boat turns upside down was done amazingly well, and people were like actually in the theater, like kind of terrified. So
We'll have to go find that and make that one of our homeworks of films.
I may have it on DVD at home, probably.
I'm sure we'll find that. That's great. Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was a kid either. So.
Okay, I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, Mark. Go ahead and give it your points.
All right, so I decided to do an even split, 2.5 to each
cool.
of you,
All right.
because I thought each of your stories had their own merit. You can't go wrong with the sentimental heartstrings being tugged about the family, and you both have touches of that in your stories. And you know, I think movies and shows can have almost as profound impact on you as music, right? I know it certainly has for me. Star Wars ruined me.
Yeah.
So you
In
know,
a good way.
In a good way. So so yeah, to hear that was sparked your love of disaster movies and just probably movies in general, right? I'm sure because it made such an impact on you at such an age. So, yep. So 2.5 to each of y'all.
All right, very cool. So I decided to go 3-2, and that is 3 for Jessica and 2 for Mark. Mostly because I like the idea of, that moment when you realize that your parents are human, regardless of what song it is, or maybe they tell you a story about their life, and you start to think about them, like just like my story about They Long to Be Close to You, thinking about my parents as teenagers, and it's like you forget they had a life before you were born. They had struggles, they had issues, and whole persona that you don't see because they're just your mom or dad or whatever, and I really like that insight there. I also love The Muppet Show. I watched it every single week. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool story. Like some of the best moments on The Muppet Show are scenes like when they did Crocodile Rock, especially the upbeat, funny ones are the ones I remember the best. As a kid, anytime there was like a slower song on the show, I'd be like, boring, I don't want to see Crystal Gale singing Send in the Clowns or whoever it was. Right. But now as an adult, of course, I appreciate that. So now that we've got all the scores in here, I'll tell you what the results are. As usual, I'm coming in last at 14.5 points. Jessica, you're second at 16.5. And Mark, you win this one, 19.5 points. So now you're tied.
Wow. Good job.
And I'm regretting coming up with this prize now because I discussed it with Mark before and he knows what it is. But Mark, you get to pick one of us to do. Let me actually. We have we make music videos, right? We make parodies. We have all kinds of crazy. We have a whole closet full of costumes, probably like a whole room full of costumes. So the prize is, Mark, you get to make one of us dress up in a fashion show using some of the crazy costumes that we have in our wardrobe. And it's your choice if you want to be myself or Jess. You can decide that now. You can decide it later, and we'll post a video of our fashion show.
Well, the look that Jess just shot me kind of said it all, so I think it's him. It's going to have to
And
be
that's
you.
why I regretted it. I'm like, it's gonna be me. It's like, damn it. I was actually rooting for Jessica to win on this one.
Also, didn't last episode I win the prize to not have to do dishes? But
yes.
It's still the same week, and I did do dishes last night.
Oh,
so.
you weren't supposed to do that.
Well, that was your first win. Your second win was the
sitting ovation, which has already been played. Yeah, Mark's got to make his peanut butter and jelly sandwich too.
We have to watch him eat it.
Me too. We'll sit there and stare at your peanut butter sandwich. All right, so I guess you'll be seeing me in some crazy costume soon. But in the meantime, couple of things. Mark, you want to talk about Spotify and Apple Music?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do, which kind of helped spawn the idea to do this show, was Oftentimes when we're hanging out and we're riffing on ideas, coming up with new stories and things to make, we listen to music, of course. And we kind of made a game out of building a playlist. Actually, we just made a new playlist last night,
Oh, yeah?
of all nights, of all things, which I think was a pretty good one. We've had some that kind of gone off the rails, and most of the time they're pretty good.
There's always like, how the hell did that song get on this list?
Yeah, so we've curated a playlist of our top picks from this episode's songs, and they are in the description. Whether you prefer Spotify or Apple Music, we've created a playlist for each of those platforms. You can click on the link, listen, and then come back, tell us your comments. What were your favorite songs? What's your new favorite song? Tell us your nostalgia pick. Do you have one? Tell us your story.
Yes.
Well, we're hopefully at some point we'll have a way that we can read some back in some future episodes if this goes on, and we'll share them out there.
That would be nice. A couple other things. If you like my shirt, we do sell them on our website. And if you like music video parodies, this is actually a music video parody that I urge you to check out. We've got 3 of them, I think, on the page. So if you check one out, check out the other ones. But yeah, you can buy this shirt if you like it. Whenever I walk around Philadelphia, lots of people say, "Oh, I love your shirt," and I'm like, "Oh, you could buy one."
And for those who are listening to the audio-only version, his shirt says Weirder Johns.
Weirder Johns.
Yep. You can check it out at store.trimungus.com.
And that is the name of one of our parody music videos. Then they're original songs, too. We're not parodizing actual songs. We wrote our own songs. Also, if you are a sci-fi fan and like to read, I have a book out on Amazon Kindle right now called Evergreen Choose Happiness. It's only $5. It's an ebook. If you got some time, want to spend $5, it's not a very long book, so you could probably read it in a weekend. I'd appreciate if you check that out, but don't buy it unless you plan to read it. And on that note, I hope you all had a good time. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Again, if you played along, tell us the results. Tell us your nostalgia picks. Anybody want to say anything before we go? Nope, just go. All right, so let's just say, on behalf of Mark and Jessica, I am Tim with Trimungus. Thank you for joining us. Join us next time for 1974, and we hope to see you all soon. Trimungus out.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.